Myst was truly the first of its kind. Released in 1993, the game was a slow-paced point-and-click adventure/puzzle game. The focus was set on getting 2 different colored pages in each world, then traveling back to the main world to use them. You played as a nameless character whose face was never shown. The worlds, or ages as they were called, were all contained inside of books and could be completed in virtually any order. The game was the best-selling PC game of all time until The Sims hit in 2002. When Uru Ages Beyond Myst came out in 2003, it was already quite obviously a very different game. You were given the opportunity to name your character as well as design it. There were actually quite a few customization options for the type of game it was too. You could even have the Myst or Riven logos on your shirt in the game, which I personally find kind of funny. The main focus of the gameplay experience had been shifted from solving puzzles to get items, to walking around a large area and solving puzzles to push buttons, or journeys as I think they were called. The game was often criticized for the annoyance of having to trek so far, so often. That, in combination with the game's incredibly clunky third-person control scheme, is often cited as the reason it was a commercial failure. Uru was probably just a little too ambitious for its time. In fact, Cyan Worlds was so busy developing Uru that they did not have time to develop Myst 3 and actually had to outsource it to another company. This was because Uru's development actually started immediately after Riven's completion in 1997. Originally, Uru was to have more content than actually shipped with the game. Updates and expansion packs eventually brought almost all of the missing content to shelves by the end of the game's life, but there's one aspect of the game that never truly went public until 2007, the online portion. Uru was initially going to contain an MMO-like multiplayer system, but it was cancelled due to Ubisoft's demands for a perfect single-player campaign. The service was left in the hands of the beta testers and then eventually handed over to the GameTap distribution service. Following its eventual close on GameTap, the service was open sourced and relaunched in 2011. That iteration of the service still runs to this day. What's interesting is when you see that there are actually still people who play regularly. I mean, it's a low number of players, but well, let's go check it out. It could be pretty cool. Well, okay, maybe this part isn't so cool, but whatever, right? Whoa, it's like exactly the same actually, just in widescreen and 30 frames a second for some strange reason. That's kind of annoying, really. There are some interesting differences in game mechanics on the online version. One interesting change is that the journal book you can find in your Relto has been completely replaced with the key, which the key is some sort of dunny device intended to allow you to communicate with other players as well as interact with the environment. It's really a pretty useful little thing. Possibly one of my favorite features is the ability to customize your Relto. You find symbols around the game to add to your Relto book, and each one changes a different aspect of your Relto. My favorite one is the sticks and stones one. Honestly, it's pretty funny, just wait. Whee! AG of Physics! Okay, I think we're done here now. Let's just leave. Let's just leave. Physics can be fun, but that was okay. Oh yeah, and today I went to my Nexus because I was trying to show how the game just felt like an abandoned shopping mall, and discovered there were 10 other people there, like in the city. It's kind of cool. So I went on over and just kind of waltzed in on their conversation because, you know, that's what you do when you're in an abandoned, well, quote, abandoned video game, right? When I started talking to them, well, more like when they started talking, I discovered they were just kind of having a casual conversation, like, didn't really have anything to do with the game, they were just talking about stuff. Although I don't know what they meant by just in time for Christmas, they kept saying that, who knows. Then when I was walking around, I just ran into a few of them. Like they were just kind of there. Then I hit caps lock to stop running and just was like, yo, am I intruding? Like, I actually did say that, but... Also, I learned about a few other very intuitive ways you can communicate with people because of them, so... We'll get to that in a moment, though. A guy private messaged me after a minute asking me if I needed markers, and then I finally figured out he was talking about the Nexus link points, and then I spent ages trying to figure out how to respond to him. And it was really not that difficult. I just clicked his name to select it. And then when I typed another chat message, it just went straight to him instead of going to all of the players of the age. But then I realized he didn't care if I responded or not because he just sent me a list of everywhere I could go to get a marker anyway, so that was kind of cool. And then I finally figured out how to say thanks. And then I noticed that these guys were having a little bit of fun and pretending that they were cooking burgers on a grill. So that was funny. When you first create an account with Uru Live, you are assigned a neighborhood. Here I am wandering around the hood I was assigned to. The level of environment interaction in a game like this is really pretty impressive. The really interesting thing about it is the fact that it's all persistent, though. Here, when I kicked this cone into the fountain, it did that server side, so everyone who comes in here will see that I kicked that cone into the fountain. And right here is an example of a PlayStation Home-style tabletop game that you could have played with your friends on this server. I've never gotten to play it because I've never had any friends that were actually interested in this game whatsoever, but I would kind of like to know what it actually is sometime. And here's an example of another thing I didn't notice when I was playing with this before. This is the key manual. I found it in the classroom area of my hood, and it actually describes a couple of interesting things, such as this right here, saying that you can play games using key markers in the hood. I've never been able to do this because I never knew about it, nor did I ever know anyone to do it with. But hey, that's actually a pretty cool idea. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I didn't have time to get to everything in this video, especially considering that it took 4 hours to edit. I've been trying to play the Myst games for some time now, and I finally just recently had the state of mind to do it. I've always loved Uru, and the other main Myst games are even more fun now that I'm actually playing them. I shall be the first in my family to finish Revelation, End of Ages, and Uru. Anyway, if you have some strange urge to try Uru Live, you can find the link to the website to download it for free in the description below. And if you'd like to try the real Uru, you can pick it up on eBay for a couple of bucks, and I'll also have the Steam store and GOG links to it below. All of the other Myst games except for Real Myst Masterpiece Edition can be bought on eBay for like $2 to $10 as well, so there's really no excuse. What are you waiting for? Seriously, you should like play them and stuff, unless you're just one of them COD losers. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Okay, see ya.